Okay, good morning all. With your confirmation, we'll start with today's class. So confirm me regarding the audio clarity and also the visibility on the screen. Please confirm so that I can continue with the session. Please confirm our audio clarity and visibility on the screen so that we can start. So in the previous session, we were discussing about classification. We saw what is classification. We saw a few formal definitions of what is classification, and also we saw few applications of it, few real-time applications which are diverse. So that is what we had seen. Also, we understood the classifier or classification model, which is sitting in between the input. Okay, input. This is the input, and your input will be from the database in the form of a record. Each record will have attributes. So this input will be given to the classifier, which is sitting in between the input and the class. So what this classifier will do? So this classifier will take the input in the form of maybe a data object or record. Okay? It will go through the attributes and it will decide to which class it belongs, whether it is class A or class B. So that will be decided by the classifier. We also understood this classifier is not doing this task on its own. Okay, it's not doing its task on its own. You need to train it. So which we called as supervised classification. Before that, we saw what is a decision tree. A decision tree is a way of realizing a classifier, a way of designing and implementing a classifier. So, what are the rules? What are the conventions? What is the procedure that you need to follow when you're building a decision tree? Few basics of it we had seen in the previous session. Following that, we understood the concept of yeah. We saw a few more examples. We saw a few more examples wherein which we understood how decision tree can play a role in making a decision about what, to which class, so the input belongs, the record belongs. Okay. So this was one example, the very first example that I had taken. Okay. So this was explained in the previous session. This was an example of deciding whether a person should eat food, and if he is eating food, whether he should eat pizza, pani puri, or whether he should stay without eating food. Okay. So these were the three possibilities. One, two, three. For making this a decision, we need a classifier. Okay. So we have a classifier here. This classifier has been trained with these features. Okay. So what are the features or attributes? Okay. So whether he is hungry or also whether he has sufficient money. So for all these features, this classifier has been trained. So this classifier will be given input. Okay, and it will make a decision. Based on the input, it will make a decision regarding to which class. So it should be accompanied or what decision should be made. Now, this was the process that has been defined. This was the complete process, and this is the decision tree. Okay. So we selected a root node. The root node here was whether the person is hungry or not. Okay. So if he is not hungry, we are directly taking him to the class. So do not eat. Okay. So easy, immediate decision could be made here. Now, this particular node that you are seeing, do not eat. So it's a leaf node. Okay, it's a class label or is a class. So how you could make out that? So we saw the convention that is followed. A leaf node will be written within a rectangular block. It will only have incoming edges. It will not have any outgoing edges. No outgoing edges. So if the person is not hungry, the classifier will directly put that record into do not eat. Okay. So there is a decision that has been made. So the decision made tree made a decision. Now what if the person is hungry? Okay. So one more possibility, one more question. What if the person is hungry? So obviously the decision is he should eat, he should have his food. But the class labels are different. See, we understood in classification we will provide the class labels. Okay, so the classifier will not decide the class labels. We have provided. So if the person is hungry, he should either eat pizza or pani puri. Okay, so we have given this class label. So just using this attribute, which one? Whether he is hungry. Okay, we cannot decide whether he should go with pizza or pani puri. We cannot decide on that. Okay, so we need to take one more question, one more attribute. Okay, so what is the next attribute under consideration? So the next attribute is whether he has sufficient money. Okay, so whether he is having money or not. So that has been introduced as the next node. So this will help us round up on a specific class label which is available. Okay. So we have a constraint here in this node. So 200 rupees, that was just an example. So if he is having 200 and above, you will go with pizza. Uh, Less than 200, so no other option. He need to go with this, eating pani puri. Okay. So the bottom line here is uh, you need to build a classifier, okay, with training, okay, with supervision. So you need to train the classifier with features or attributes. Okay, so a classifier or a classification model cannot do the task on its own. You need to train it. For training, you need to know the features, attributes, characteristics of the data. Okay. That was the first point. Second point was you need to know the classes. What classes you will be utilizing, you will be having. You should have that information. You should train the classifier with that information. For example, here you have seen class A is eating pizza, class B is eating pani puri, and class C is do not eat. So this information was available, and we have trained the classifier with this information. And given with a new situation, what is a new situation? I gave a completely new record, and for this record, our classifier can do the required decision and put the record into appropriate class A, B, or C. We will see a few more examples. More the examples, better the clarity. That's it. So based on this philosophy, given few examples, you can see. So the second example was that of whether a person should accept a job offer or not. Okay, once again, it's a funny example. All the examples are taken from textbook. Okay. So these are not my own sources. Taken it from textbook. I mean, sorry, internet sources. The first example, classifying whether it's a mammal or a non-mammal, was from textbook. The other examples are from different internet sources. Now, what is there in the second example? So the second example is building a classifier to decide whether the person should accept the job offer or decline. Now, we are aware of what are the parameters that will play a role in making a decision. You will experience campus interviews. You may get many offers from different companies. You will select the best one, depending on few criteria or constraints. So those criteria have been identified as attributes here, based on which a decision will be made. So now coming to the big picture. So this is the complete classifier with input and class label. So this is my classifier sitting in between. We have already explored it in many examples. Our classifier will be sitting between the input data and the class. Okay, please give me confirmation about the audio clarity because I'm experiencing some issues with respect to the network. Please give me whether the audio is clear. Please give me confirmation regarding that so that I can continue. Okay. So now, so the second example or application under consideration, whether the person should accept the job offer or not. So that will become the class. So class A is the person will be accepting the job offer. This is class A. Audio is low. Okay. So once again, I'll switch off. Once again. Okay. I'll continue with my explanation. So we are discussing or we are trying to study a classifier which will help us decide a person should accept a job offer or not. Okay, if there is some improvement in the audio, please confirm. So fan was running, have switched off the fan. So two classes are there. One is accept offer, the other one is decline offer. Okay. Okay. So as I already mentioned, these two classes should be informed to the classifier or it should be trained. The classifier should be trained with these two classes. One more thing, the classifier should also be trained with the features or attributes. Okay. Now, what are the features that may be utilized by the classifier to make a decision regarding the person should accept the offer or not? So obviously these are the features. The first and primary feature is salary. Okay, salary is the fundamental feature. Also location, travel time, and facilities that are available to you in that particular company. So here it has been marked as free snacks. Okay. So these are the deciding factors which will help decide whether the job offer should be accepted or not. Please note, the classifier has been trained. It is supervised classification. So we are under the section of supervised classification wherein which the classifier has been trained with the features. Okay. Also, the class labels are already known. We know the class label, accept offer, decline offer. We know this, we have this information. And the same has been trained for the classifier. Okay. So this was a big picture of this classifier for this specific application. Now, how the classifier works, how this classification model works. So it is based on the decision tree that is represented above. Okay, this is the decision tree. So this decision tree has the required intelligence to uh, take a record to a specific class. Okay. Now, if you just study the decision tree, you can see various nodes are there. Okay, attribute. Nodes are nothing but attributes. Attribute values are helping us take appropriate branches. Also, the class labels are the leaf nodes, okay, which we had already seen. Now, among the available features, among the available attributes, salary, travel time, free snacks, okay, facilities available, whatever it is. Now, which should become the root node? So that is the first question. Okay, when you are building a classifier, which feature or which attribute should be the root node? Please note in the examples that I'm discussing, I'm directly selecting a feature with an assumption. Okay, so this feature is a root node, but that is not the case. You will not randomly select a feature. We will decide upon the feature based on something called as gain and entropy, which you will explore in further sessions. Okay, already I made a mention of this statement, if you remember. For example, among three features, salary, travel time, and free snacks, which attribute should become the root node? So that is the first question in place. And the answer to this question is we will compute gain and entropy for each and every attribute, and that will help us decide which is the feature that will become the root node. So for as of now, we will assume one node to be a root node, that is salary. Okay. So obviously, you can understand salary is a primary criteria when you are accepting a job offer. Initially, specifically, that too initially, once you are sufficiently experienced and skilled, so you can go with your priorities. Okay. Initially, as a fresher, it is usually Okay, so this has become the salary. I mean, salary has become the root node. You can see. So the point of decision is salary greater than 50K. Okay, so this was the first attribute. Attribute number one, salary. Now, what value is there inside that attribute? That will decide the branch to which you will be taking the flow. Okay. Now, if the attribute salary has a value s, if the value is s, you will go towards the left hand side, left branch. If it is no, you will go towards the right branch, meaning that the person will reject the offer if the salary is less than 50K. That's it. See, please note here directly you have entered into a class label, decline offer. Now, if the salary is greater than 50K, so should he accept the offer or decline the offer? So just salary may not be a criteria for an employee. Few other things may play a role in making a decision. Okay. So just based on the salary, you cannot directly arrive at a decision. See, decision here means the leaf node, the class label. So just based on the salary, you cannot enter into a leaf node, meaning that you cannot make a final decision. Few other parameters are there. Few other attributes are there. What is that? The next attribute is journey time. Okay, so if the place where you will be working is very far, okay. Now, for example, here it has been made more specific. If the journey R is greater than 60 minutes, so the person will be declining the offer, okay, because the travel time is I mean very huge. He's not interested to travel so much. That's the assumption. So one more node has been introduced, which serves as one more parameter, which will help us decide on the class for the new input. Okay. So if the journey R is greater than 60 minutes, okay, so he will decline the offer. So a decision was made. Okay. So no, the journey R is less than 60. Now, once again, can you directly go to the final leaf node or to the class label? So now one more attribute is there. So is there any free offers, benefits from the company? Okay. So if yes, the person will accept the offer. If no, he will decline. Okay. Please observe the noteworthy contents in this example. Okay. The first point is this decision tree is being used to train the classifier. Okay. So the classifier will understand salary, journey hours, I mean free offers from the company will play a role in making a decision. The classifier will also understand, okay, accepting offer and declining offer are the two classes. Okay, so the two decisions that I should make. Okay. So based on what criteria I will decide. So all these things have been very clearly defined, and the same will be trained with the classifier. Now the classifier is ready with a training. Okay. So and this is what we call as a supervised classification that I mentioned in the previous session. This is supervised classification where you're training the classifier, where you're supervising, where you're ensuring the classifier will learn things, okay, from the existing records, from the previous records. Okay. This is where machine learning comes into picture that you will study in the next semester. Next, we completed with the training phase. After training, what is that? I had already explained in the previous session. Once you complete with the training, what is the next step? Okay, so directly will you start with the live data? Directly will you start with the real-time data? So once again, I'm repeating my question. Once you complete with the training, should I directly start with the live data? Or is there one more step pending, intermediary step? If so, what is that? So I'm expecting answer from you. Please be responsive. My question is, I have constructed a classifier for this specific application for deciding whether a person should accept a job offer or not. This classifier has been trained based on previous observations of how, I mean, when the persons were accepting the offer, when they were rejecting. Okay. Previous records were available based on which the classifier has been trained. In the record, features were there, attributes were there, so that was utilized to construct the decision tree and The classifier has been trained for the same. Now my question is, this is supervised classification. We completed with the training phase. Okay. Now should I directly start giving live data to the classifier, or is there any intermediary steps before we go with the live data? So that was my question. So the answer to this question was already discussed in the previous session, if you remember. Okay. Once you are done with the training, you will not directly launch the classifier for real-time data. Okay, we do something called as testing. Okay. So do you remember in the previous session we had given an example? Testing. What do you mean by testing? Okay. Testing is you will take a sample record for which the class is already known. Okay. If you remember the example that I had given in the previous class, okay, I'll go back to the same example so that you can remember. Okay. So this was my example. So this is the input student record. We have a classifier in between. Three classes are there: Mysore, Mandya, Hunsur. Okay. Step one, we have trained the classifier using the attributes available in the student record. That is training phase. Step two, it is testing phase. In testing phase, what you will do? You will take a sample record for which the class is already known. For example, I know Anil is coming from Mysore. I think I've taken the same example. Okay. I know Anil is coming from Mysore, okay, but still I'll give this record as input to the classifier. Okay. Now this classifier should correctly classify the record of Anil as class A, that is Mysore. If it does so, it means the accuracy of the classifier is very good. If not, so there is some issue which should be resolved. Maybe it requires more training, or maybe you need to choose a different algorithm for this specific data set. So that is the indicator here. So the bottom line here is, for building a classifier, first you need to train the classifier, that is training phase. Once done with the training, you need to be sure that the classifier is working correctly, working properly, for which we will do the testing. So what you do in testing? You select a record for which the class is already known. You know the class. Okay. You give it as input to the classifier. And if it correctly classifies, then you can be happy that your classifier has been trained properly and it is working accurately. So the bottom line once again, the classifier requires supervision. That is, it is supervised classification. Also, the classifier needs to be trained, which is once again nothing but supervision. It needs to be trained, and once completed with the training, to ensure its accuracy, you need to test it. Okay. So all this stuff, whatever I mentioned now, comes under this supervised classification. Also, we explored classifier as being trained using decision tree, okay, through various examples. This was my second example, and we will continue with topic 2 with further examples. Okay, so this was my third example. Okay, so this third example is that of a application where automated system is making a decision of whether loan should be approved to the customer or not. See, please note, we are taking diverse applications. Okay. Now I need to build a classifier which will help decide, maybe the bank manager is helping, it should help the bank manager to decide whether the customer loan should be approved or not, it should be rejected. So obviously two classes are there, two known classes, okay, two class labels: approve the loan and do not approve the loan. Okay, so two classes. So the classifier has been trained, has been informed about these two classes. So the same I have written here. You can see model trained. Okay. Now, not only the class labels, the classifier should also be informed about the features or attributes for the records or data that will be given. So typically for a classifier which is working on customer data with respect to loan, okay. So what will be the attributes of the record? What attributes will be taken into consideration? Okay, so you are aware of it. you experienced banking related aspects, you're aware of it. The first thing is income. Okay. So before approving a loan, so your existing income will be verified. So that will be one primary criteria. So that has become the root node. So the other attribute or characteristics that may be used to make a decision is outstanding debits. So whether you have any pending debits to the bank, any interest you need to pay, any previous interest, principal amount. So all these things will be verified. Also, when you are submitting a new loan application, whether all the documents are proper as per the guidelines, regulations of the government, as per the policy of the bank. So you have followed the procedure in building the documents. So all these things will be taken into consideration to decide on whether loan should be given or not. See, even this will happen manually. See, you forget the classifier. Okay, you consider, you think it's a manual process. If you approach a bank for a loan, so these things will be verified. Okay, whether your income, your sources of income, any debits that is currently existing, your documentation process, all these things will be verified. This was manual, and manual process is a bit tedious. So we can have automated systems which can do this in a much more effective way. So we can reduce the load on the bank managers or people who are making decisions regarding these aspects by building appropriate classifiers. Okay. So you can see a decision tree which has been constructed to train the classifier, okay, for making this decision. Okay. So now, few attributes were discussed. What is that? Income, outstanding debits, documentation. Now, among the three attributes, which attribute should become the root node? So, as I already discussed in the previous example, the attribute to be the root node will not be randomly chosen. Okay, it will be based on the mathematical computations of gain and entropy, which you will see later. But now, for this example, we will assume income is the root node. So you can see. So what value this attribute has will decide the branch the decision tree will be taking. Okay. So if the income is less than 30K, so no more further processing, immediately your loan will be rejected. Okay. So considering that repayment will be difficult for the customer. Okay. Now, if the income is greater than or equal to 30K, once again, please note, directly the loan is not being approved. Okay, there are few other criteria, few other things that needs to be taken into consideration. That will become other nodes in the tree. Okay. What is the other criteria? So the other criteria here is, does he have any debits? Okay, pending debits to the bank, maybe to the same bank or other banks. Now everything is centralized. So even if you have debits in other banks, maybe that may be taken into consideration when a decision is being made. Okay. So if he is having outstanding debits, okay, so he has not paid the interest of previous loan. He has not paid the principal amount of previous loan. So obviously, his new loan application should be rejected. He has not paid. He's not disciplined himself to pay the previous loan. So why we should approve him with the new loan? So that is the thing. So now, so he does not have any debits. Okay, so he does not have any defaulter history, previous history of defaulting. So then go with the next one. Verify his documents. So obviously, when you're applying for a loan, there is some procedure. So you need to fill some documents. It may be online or offline, whatever it is. You need to submit some documents. So whether all the documents have been submitted properly. So yeah, verify that. So if everything is fine, approve the loan amount. So please note, uh, all these attributes and the values of these attributes in this part of the branch is being utilized to make a decision of whether loan should be given to the customer. Okay. If all these attributes and values are satisfied, okay, then the classifier will take the record to this class A, which is approve the loan, else reject the loan. So loan is rejected in two cases. One, you can see if it is less than 30K. The second cases, even if it is greater than 30K, he has some pending debits to the bank. Okay. So this was one more example. Hope as we are progressing with the diverse examples, your understanding is improving. Okay. Regarding what is a class, what is a classifier, how a classifier has been trained or can be trained using decision tree. Okay. Hope your understanding is improving. Please confirm. See, your confirmation is very crucial because this is not a regular classroom session that's being conducted. It's an online class. I'm not able to see you, not able to see study your body language regarding whether you're understanding or not. Okay. So your confirmation will give me the required message. Please confirm whether you understood, whether your understanding is improving. Okay. We cannot claim in one shot that you understood everything. It's an incremental process. So please confirm. Okay. So one more formal definition. See, as I already told you, for classifier or a classification, specifically supervised, see hundreds of definitions will be available. You just give, open Google and type what is classification, what is a classifier. You will see hundreds of links with different definitions. Okay. Meaning that many definitions can be there, but all the definitions will will point to one common aspect. So what is that was already discussed. Okay. One more definition I have given here, because as we improve with our understanding, we should explore with different definitions. Okay. So this is the one. But the one thing that is common is towards the left hand side we have the data, towards the right hand side we have the classes, and in between we have the classifier. Okay. So what do you understand in the above? Understood in the above examples. This is talking specifically with respect to training. Okay, this definition is talking with respect to training of the classifier. Okay. So what is being indicated here? So the classifier will analyze the training data. Okay, meaning that existing records, previous historical data that you will be feeding to the classifier for training will be analyzed by the classifier. It will study the different attributes in the data. Okay, it will study the values in the attributes based on which will build a function. Okay, function or a model, and which is nothing but the decision tree that you saw previously. Okay, it will infer this model. Okay, it will arrive at this model based on the training that you are giving. Okay. Next, based on this training and inferred function or model or the tree, it will make the required decisions. Okay, so that was the indicator here in this particular graphical representation. Okay. Please note this representation is talking in terms of training and building the inferred function or the model. Okay. So that was the thing here. Next, we have one more example. This example I have taken from textbook. So this is a textbook example of building a classifier using decision tree, okay, for a specific application. Which application? Application of approving loan for the customer. Okay. So similar application we had seen previously. This is more specific considering other attributes. See, attributes may also be taken into consideration based on the policies of the bank. Okay. Maybe the bank has a policy that for example, you can see in this case, I'll explain in this case. Specific policies of the bank will be reflected here. Okay, so this is the training data. Okay. These are the records that were already available with the bank, okay, in the database. So these were the previous observations that has been made. So already I told you your classifier, which is supervised, cannot work without training. Okay, it requires some training. How training is done? Training is done based on the previous records or data that is already existing. Okay. So these were the previous observations that were recorded. Okay. These were few attributes that were taken into consideration when deciding on the loan by the bank. So whether he has his own house, his marital status, annual income, whether he has defaulted in his previous payments. Okay. So all these things have been taken into consideration. Okay. all this data was available with the bank. So that is what I told you. And this existing data will become the training data. Okay, it will become the training data for the classifier. Now, if you just go through this data, you can see four attributes are there to decide whether loan should be approved to the customer or not. Okay. So whether he is having his own home. Okay. So different values have been entered. You can see it is a binary attribute. Okay. This column one is a binary attribute. What do you mean by binary attribute? So attribute has limited values. In this case, specifically only two. So whether he has his own house or not, so can only have two values, yes or no. So that is binary. Okay, so you can see binary attribute here. In the second case, marital status. Okay, so single, married, divorced. Once again, it is categorical. We have three groups here. So it is categorical attribute. So third column, you can see the annual income. Okay, so it is continuous because income, it can start from 1 rupee and it can go maybe up to 1 crore, 2 crore, 10 crores at the CEO level. We are aware of it. Okay. So it is continuous. It can take any value and the range is very large. So if you have a very large range, so already we had seen this, it is continuous. Okay. So some entries have been made. These were the previous observations that have been recorded. And people or customers with these entries, okay, what was their loan repayment status? So that has been recorded in the last column. You can see, okay, people or customers with these attributes, okay, they exhibited this quality that you are seeing in the last column. Okay, for example, customer A, for example, Anil, who was a house owner, okay, who was a single and whose income was 25K. Okay, so he has not defaulted. Okay, so that was observation we have obtained from Anil's record, which was entered in the database. Okay, now one more record is there. Record of Sunil, for example, we'll take record number 5. Okay, so he is a customer by name Sunil. He is not a house owner. Okay, he is a divorcee. Okay, his annual income is 95K, and the observation that was made was he has defaulted. Okay, previously he has failed in maybe paying the interest rate or the principal amount. Okay, so that was the observation. Please note, observations are very crucial inputs for training the classifier. Okay, previous observations, historical data. Similarly, we can see many records.